The research element of this unit on photojournalism requires you to look at and analyse 10 photojournalistic images. You should have 9 now, and this is your 10th. So once you've written this one up, this will be all of the research done for the photojournalism unit, which is part of the People in Journalism project. The picture I'd like you to look at is one made by John Downing during the Brighton bombing in 1984. So John Downing was the only photographer present in the Grand Hotel in Brighton, which is where the delegates and some of the press were staying on the night of 11th of October, early morning of 12th of October 1984. It was the event was the Tory Party conference, and was attended by Margaret Thatcher and her husband Dennis, and they were staying in the hotel. This picture was made by John Downing, and it's the night of the bombing, just before Thatcher and Margaret Thatcher and Dennis Thatcher retired to bed, and just before the bomb went off. The IRA had plotted to assassinate Margaret Thatcher and almost succeeded. This is the aftermath of the bombing. This picture was not made by Downing. This is a PA picture, and shows the destruction that was caused. The bomb was placed underneath the bath in Margaret Thatcher's room, and it was placed on a timer by an IRA bomb expert, and it was timed to go off at the time when Margaret Thatcher would be in the room. She was certainly the target, but other people suffered. So this picture is of Norman Tebbit, who was at the time a junior minister of in the Tory government, and he was badly injured. His wife was so badly injured that she was permanently disabled for life and eventually died. They were trapped under a table for some time. 5 people were killed in the attempt on Margaret Thatcher's life, and over 30 were injured. John Downing was in the bar at the time. He was the only photographer there. He'd been staying there covering the Tory Party conference, and was in the bar at the time when the bomb went off. And this is a lesson really in always carrying a camera with you. So he was off duty, he wasn't working, he was there having a drink before he went to bed. The bomb went off at 2:45 in the morning, he just happened to be in the right place at the right time, or consequently the wrong place at the wrong time. This picture was made on the hoof, if you like, from the hip, very quickly, and just is a good example of why you should always carry a camera with you. The classic picture that Downing got, the one that got covered all over the world, was of Margaret Thatcher and Dennis Thatcher being driven away at 3 a.m. From the scene. What I'd like you to do is to look at this picture. So John Downing was a Daily Express photographer, but this picture was syndicated and went all over the world. It's an important picture. There's a lot of faults with it, technically, but it's an important news picture. And I'd like you to find this picture, and I'd like you to analyse it. I'd like you to go through the 4 verbs. I'd like you to describe what you see. I'd like you to analyse. I'd like you to interpret, and I'd like you to evaluate the image. Technically, there's a lot wrong, as I said, and I'd like you to write that in. But what I want you to do is to identify and understand the value of this picture as a news item, as a news piece of news.